to Leaders of Tomorrow, the only show on Indian television where you, the MSME, get center stage. This is ET-NA's special daily initiative to give MSMEs and entrepreneurs the opportunity to be front and center on every industry and area that matters to you. Tonight on the show, we're bringing you highlights of a jury round we're doing ahead of the Leaders of Tomorrow Awards, and later on featuring 21 Fools. Tonight on the show, we're bringing you some of the biggest highlights of a jury run that we did with the Who's Who of India Inc. leading up to the Leaders of Tomorrow Awards. Do take a listen to the jury members who met up with some of the biggest MSMEs across the country.
Leaders of Tomorrow, with its mission to recognize India's entrepreneurial drive, is hosting the 6th edition of the LOT Awards. As a precursor to this grand ceremony, we hold a jury meet to pick the country's finest MSMEs from a selected list of nominees. When stalwarts of the Indian economy come together, the result is bound to be phenomenal. This was realized when the panelists struck a chord with MSMEs across 9 different sectors. Delighted with the progress of Leaders of Tomorrow Awards, here's what they had to say about the list of nominees and the pre-jury process.
I think the process is very, very fair, and we had some very, very interesting entries. So a couple of them were extremely good, some were not so good, but I think it was a good mix, I would say, firstly. And it was across different verticals, so it was all the more interesting. It was a learning opportunity for me as well, because, you know, you get to know different businesses and, you know, their know-hows, etc. But what was very interesting, and one thing that came out very, very importantly and prominently, was the fact that there was so much of technology, and how are they using technology as a platform to showcase and market and sell their products. So that was very, very interesting for me, because technology, as you all know, is the future. Also, what was interesting was everybody was very, very conscious about their bottom line, and, you know, they were looking at are they getting a clear ROI. So I think overall the session was very, very interesting, and lots to learn, and of course I think it's a good two-way interaction as well, and I really enjoyed networking with the rest of the jury members. So I think it was really good.
One thing is very clear, that we have outside a brilliant set of entrepreneurs who are very, very creative, who are very innovative, and it was a learning of the day. You know, it was also an eye-opener for us that, you know, in so many fields, there is so much of a work which is being done, and behind that are some very, very young entrepreneurs. They're very creative. We could see the passion into them while we were talking to them. I think so. What is, you know, they have a huge potential. Are they exploiting their potential to the maximum? The answer is no. Probably there need to be some mechanism around it to enable them to exploit their fullest potential. They have started well. They're on the right track. I think so. They require some policy push or some enabling regulations so as to completely exploit their fullest potential.
I think it was a very humbling experience. Also a great experience in terms of understanding where the real entrepreneurship is in India. I think the spirit, the passion and the ambition of these entrepreneurs was truly inspiring for me. In terms of my key takeaways, I think there are solid people working on a variety of different areas, including FMCG, agri, food processing businesses, and as far away as biotech, pesticides. These are exciting fields, future fields for India, and the entrepreneurs are really, really putting their heart, body and mind and soul into this. So it was a wonderful experience to meet some of them, to see some of them over Skype and really understand how they're growing their business. My key takeaway from these entrepreneurs is really the passion, the focus and the incredible ambition that they have.
It's been a very interesting day today. We, as a jury, we met around 11 companies in 3 different industry segments. It included education, agriculture, FMCG, etc. So for me personally, it was very interesting because I got to know about different industries and different companies, and it's been my takeaways. One, there are lots of exciting companies out there in the field doing very interesting things. The entrepreneurs that we met were something to be really looked up to. Everybody's got a dream and they're chasing it hard. And I think you guys have done a great job in selecting the final shortlist that we met.
See, Leaders of Tomorrow, this award function, when we are selecting the nominations, I found the people, the nominations and the entrepreneurs are very interesting. enthusiasts. Or second thing, they have an interest to showcase their progress, growth, or we can say that innovation. But I found that a lot of participants are not having future plans. So entrepreneurs should prepare a future plan. Entrepreneurs should come with the proper planning, marketing, rather branding and promotion strategy. Then only we can compete with the local and global. This Make in India initiative, rather in this process, how many top businessmen or top foreign companies are coming and setting up their business in India? They are coming with abundant capital, manpower, ready-made market, rather they have a red carpet treatment by the Indian government. What about our Indian entrepreneurs?
So I think a couple of them were pretty outstanding. The kind of ideas that they have, the kind of zeal and energy that they're bringing to transforming what would have been a traditionally unorganized or a very scattered marketplace, and bringing some degree of refinement to the way transactions happen in various markets. I think some of them were excellent. And a large number of them were very good at what they do. Some of them were working in really niche and very interesting areas, which was very good to know. So it was altogether quite remarkably insightful that there is so much good work happening in so many pockets in and around India.
I think there's a huge wave of entrepreneurship in India as a result of what is happening, including shows like these, and the fact that the Modi government is boosting entrepreneurship in many ways. I think what needs to be done more is that the government of India has a Skilling India campaign of generating jobs for people. I think they should add entrepreneurial training as part of the Skilling India campaign, because that will also perhaps ensure that people in rural areas do not move to urban cities if they can become entrepreneurs in their villages and local areas. So I think there is a need, both boost required from the government to push entrepreneurial development, and to have a thrust from beneath through institutions, VCs and various things that are happening in a big way. And I think corporates should also take a lead in mentoring entrepreneurs and taking on groups of people that they then nurture, even if it is to be suppliers or providers for services for their own businesses.
Process is very scientific. I don't think it's one of the best processes and the best approaches I've seen, because given that you had KPMG driving the process and you had basically ET now basically looking at curating all the things, all the responses coming in from various startups, various MSMEs coming to you, and then finally crystallizing it to the final set, which we were able to go through finally. But that whole process has been phenomenal, because the way you've done the whole process itself is, I think, speaks for the science, because otherwise a lot of times the process gets diluted. And here the process is far more important, and the final set that we see, there are going to be some hits and some misses, but the kind of quality that has come out at the heart of it is definitely much better. Because when you talk to this sort of entrepreneurs, it's not about just going and being a part of the jury, but also by looking at saying what sort of things they have done and what are things new they have done across, which becomes inspiring for all of us also out here.
Top 4 MSMEs in all the 9 categories put their best foot forward in front of the distinguished jury. Arriving with a mix of nerves, the entrepreneurs headed home with unmatched learning.
It's definitely a platform where, as a company, we do encourage ourselves to push ourselves to the next level so that we can move our categories. So this is kind of a gamification where we are having a recognition for our work done and an encouragement for going into the next level. And definitely the jury is very experienced in their own fields, and their suggestions are helping us to improve ourselves. So last year we were there on the top 3, and this year again we got nominated. So we are trying our best to move ahead.
Definitely, when you're sitting in front of the delegates, it's really good, it's really wonderful, and having the session like this really motivated the small and mid enterprises, because different leaders, they all come together, they share the ideas and the brainstormings and everything. So it was really a good experience, I think. Yeah.
I think it's a great boost. I think much more than money, much more than anything else, because first of all, it forces you to think what you have been actually doing, and whether it's been helping you or not, and what has made you come to this stage. It helps you gather all the thoughts. I think it's a great process, and the awards would be a great motivator, because well, you need money for the basic things, but then you do need some recognition, and I think this awards, it's a great initiative on your part. I must congratulate the Times, I must thank the Times Group for that.
Join us in the celebration of exceptional entrepreneurial achievements as this 3-month-long process culminates in Delhi with attendance of the Who's Who of India Inc. and government representatives.
Time for a break. On the other side, 21 Fools is our Small Giants tonight. Do stay tuned. Welcome back. You're with us here on Leaders of Tomorrow, and tonight on the show we're featuring 21 Fools. Tonight on Small Giants, we're bringing you the story of a very unique company based in Jaipur that retails handcrafted products that once used can be turned into plants. Karishma Vanjani has more on 21 Fools.
Turn this bag into a tree.
To say that we're reducing environmental impact by using a paper bag over plastic. But did you know it takes 20 times more water to produce one paper bag over plastic? So today, Leaders of Tomorrow features a startup that's helping you reduce both paper and plastic wastage. Features a startup that's, well, saving the world. 21 Fools, a Jodhpur-based company, is built on a unique concept of retailing handcrafted beach kapas products. Products that grow into plants. Made from pre-consumed waste cotton and embedded with seeds, this paper, when planted into soil, starts decomposing itself and germinates into a plant. Their line of inventions capitalize on a cost-conscious consumer.
Welcome to Leaders of Tomorrow, Divyanshu. Let's start by diving straight into the concept behind 21 Fools. What is the idea behind your products?
The core idea is sustainability. To kickstart this company, we started with a paper which is called beach kapas. This paper is made from waste cotton and seeds embedded into it. So the concept is that when you use a normal paper, post its use, whether it is a corporate communication material, it's a stationery item, it's a wedding card, any paper product for that matter. Post its use, you throw it away and it becomes a part of waste material. Instead of that, what we are using is, we are purchasing pre-consumed cotton material from textile companies, and we are cutting it into small pieces, mixing it with seeds and making a paper out of it. So post its use, if you plant the paper inside the soil, water it regularly, what will happen is eventually the cotton will decompose itself into the soil and the seeds will start germinating. So that's how a waste material became part of the environment. A waste material has finally grown into a plant and will add something to the environment.
So what are the products that are created out of this paper?
So product which we have recently launched is called Kyari. It's a calendar that is made from reclaimed wood. So we are working in Jodhpur, and we have a small factory unit over there where we are purchasing old furniture, old doors and reclaiming the old wooden frames from it. So that is one of the products that we are working upon. In terms of paper, we are working with corporate communication material. We are working in a stationery item that includes notepads, diaries, coasters, greeting cards, any paper product for that matter. The third thing which we are working upon is the wedding card section, which is a huge segment as far as India is concerned. Apart from that, we have a B2C portal where we make products that are relevant to our regular users or customers.
So it seems like you're on both the turf, B2B and B2C. What has performed the best for you?
We started this product using the B2C model 3 years back. Launched a series of greeting cards on our website. The response was amazing. But what we realized was, being a company who was bootstrapping with no funding at all, we were facing difficulty running the e-commerce business. You have to focus on the content, you have to focus on SEO, marketing, everything on the back end to sell number of products, X number of products. So we started reaching out to the corporates, and what we felt was, when you approach a company, you actually are able to reach out to the whole to the whole country itself. So if a company like Flipkart buys a product from us, a thank you card, so they are sending this thank you card to their loyal customers, which are like 7 lakh. Okay. When you are approaching a company, a pharmaceutical company like Cipla, then they are sending our products to doctors all across India. So we are able to create more impact with corporates instead of working directly with the e-commerce segment. So we are shifting our gear from B2B to B2C now.
Startups built around a social cause do sound good on a paper, but what are your unit economics? Are they positive? Are they negative? Essentially, are you generating any profits?
We are certainly profitable since last 2.5 years or so. And the main reason is not that because the paper is eco-friendly or the paper is adding something to the environment. The main reason is that we were able to create a product that clients, our companies, corporates can use to wow their customers. Sure. And I think that is where we were able to fetch the margins for the company.
Okay, you talk about customers out here. I want to talk about customer response in particular. A layman such as me who has zero gardening knowledge, I'm not a green thumb. How do you ensure that I don't have a bad experience post buying your products?
So what we have done over a period of last few months is that initially we used to tell the customer how to plant the paper using the illustrations. Now we have made specific videos which will guide the customer through the complete process. The customers get a link every time they buy a product from 21 Fools. So we are teaching India that how to germinate. It's a beautiful process. It's like a baby growing in front of you, and I hope people will embrace it really soon.
Sure. So do you take care of the climatic conditions? Do you offer certain products to only certain geographies?
Exactly. So whenever we sell a product, when we are making our paper, it's a freshly painted paper, and we will use the seeds that are meant for that particular weather, that are meant for a particular season. So it's a technical decision which we take every time we sell any product.
So let's for a moment slide away from the green cause and talk about job creation. Your manufacturing unit is set in Jodhpur and Jaipur. What is the job creation out there?
So we don't use any machines, we don't use any electricity. Everything is manually done. We have been able to engage almost 50 to 60 people in Jodhpur as well as Jaipur, and they are earning their living. There are women out there. 50% of the people who are working in the factory are women.
That's great. Let's talk about investor backing out here. You said that you were bootstrapped. 21 Fools is essentially bootstrapped. But do you have any plans of approaching investors?
It's a new product. People don't understand it. Investors surely don't right now in India. I somehow don't feel that the investors in India are ready for investing into sustainable product companies. It's not a tech company. It's not a mobile app company. The innovation is happening manually. It's an innovation which is happening in the sector of environment.
Divyanshu, reports suggest that plastic consumption in India will rise to 20 million metric tons by 2020. What is the future of sustainable businesses such as yours in the light of this?
Sustainable enterprises won't be able to survive if we don't have people, if we don't have customers who make conscious buying choices. It's a challenge for us, and that's what we have taken. We are not sticking just to the paper. We are going to be in the sector of wood. We are going to be in the sector of a product that can replace plastic, bags, or anything that can be made in a sustainable way, in a way we don't harm environment. So there is a huge growth opportunity. There is a big gap, and we need to fill it.
It's always great to talk to a budding entrepreneur and an eco warrior. Thanks for talking to Leaders of Tomorrow.
So if you want to be a fool, come be one of them.
That's all on the show tonight. If you have any feedback for us and want to be featured here on the show, do remember you can always write to us at leadersoftomorrowtimesgroup.com. You can also reach us on social media. Tweet at me personally at Sunanda_J or LOT_ET now. You can also reach us on our Facebook page, Leaders of Tomorrow on ET Now. Thanks very much for watching. Have a good night.